I came home Friday afternoon, glad it was the weekend. Mom and Dad were gone for the weekend, and I looked forward to a long stretch of playing video games and hanging out with my friends. My sister Pam was supposed to watch me, but that was no big deal. My parents pretty much let me do anything I wanted since I was the youngest. I was 9 years old, but small for my age. Pam always resented me for getting away with everything because she didn't get away with anything. I heard Pam and her friend Beth in Pam's room talking as I plopped down to play a video game. Beth sounded like she had been upset, but it didn't concern me, so I didn't really care. As I sat playing, they got quiet. I heard them walk out of Pam's room and come to mine. "Jack," Pam said. Not even looking up from my game, I said, "What? You know you're not allowed in here." "I know, but I need a favor." "No, I'm busy." She walked over and unplugged the game. "What the heck?" I asked, visibly angry. "I said I need to ask a favor." "Fine, what?" "Well, you see, Beth's cousin Jane is getting married on Sunday, and her family has spent a lot of time and money to put on the perfect wedding. So one of the flower girls got sick." "That's unfortunate." "We'll see. That's the thing. We were wondering if you could fill in for her." There was a long pause. "What? Are you serious?" "First of all, I am not a girl, so I can't be a flower girl." Pam interjected. "Yes, but you see, no one knows you there, so we could make you up as a girl, tell everyone that you're my cousin, and you agreed to fill in. It's only for the weekend, and we'll be back Sunday before Mom and Dad get home." "No way. I'm not spending the weekend dressed up as a girl. Both of you get out of here." Pam turned red when she heard her little brother cursing at her, and she and Beth left the room. I was plugging my game system back in when I felt something around my mouth and smelled something funny. I got really sleepy really fast. And right before I drifted off, I heard Pam saying, "Call me a brat, will you?" I awoke to the sound of a car horn. I opened my eyes and could see the road passing by and had a slight headache. I put my hand to my head and my hair felt funny. "Ugh, my head." "Hey, sleepyhead," Pam said from the driver's seat. "Thought you were going to sleep the whole trip away. The headache is from the stuff I used. Don't worry, it will go away in a minute." "Trip? What's going on?" "Well, I'm tired of you getting your way all the time, and I'm tired of you being so smug about it. So you're going to help me out this weekend whether you like it or not." Beth needed a flower girl, so I'm delivering one. Just then I realized what she was doing and I almost fainted. I grabbed the car visor and pulled it down. The small mirror confirmed my worst fears. My face was done up like a girl with a light coat of pink lipstick and a splash of blush. My hair, which is a little long anyway, was styled with 2 pigtails tied with pink ribbons and 2 pink butterfly barrettes on either side. I looked down at myself and gasped in horror at what I saw. My legs were encased with white tights. My feet were firmly buckled into black patent leather Mary Jane shoes, and I noticed my nails had a light coat of pink nail polish. She had put me in a prim rose-yellow dress, which had short puffy sleeves with lace around the edge, white lace around the hem, which went down to the top of my knees. And there was a mass of petticoats draped over my thighs. The petticoats made the dress stick out a little. It buttoned up the back and had a satin ribbon sash that was tied in a bow in the back. "No, I won't do it," I yelled as I started ripping the ribbons and barrettes out of my hair. "I can't let anyone see me like this." I was so busy ripping at my hair that I didn't notice Pam pulling the car over. With lightning speed, Pam unbuckled my seatbelt, pulled me over her knee, and raised my dress. Then I felt it. Smack, smack, smack. "Ouch!" "Stop." "No," she replied, "Mom and Dad have never disciplined you. I used to get disciplined all the time. You're going to behave this weekend." I was kicking my legs violently. "Mom and Dad are going to be so mad at you for doing this to me." Smack, smack, smack. "I don't care. At this point, whatever they do will be worth it, just to see you prancing around like a little girl. You're finally getting what's coming to you." I was crying now. No. "Stop." Smack, smack, smack. Okay. I will behave." "Good. Besides, I have pictures, and we're about 100 miles from home now." I could just stick you on a bus home and make you travel home dressed like that. No, Pam, please. I will behave. Good. Smack. 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 Ouch! I said I would behave. She giggled. I know, I just couldn't resist. She tossed me back in the passenger seat and buckled me in. I squirmed, trying to rub my sore bottom. Here, let me fix your hair and clean your face up. She redid the ribbons and barrettes. As she was wiping the tears away from my eyes, she said, "There we go. All pretty again, Jacquelina." I looked at her quizzically. What? Well, we can't call you Jack, now can we? For the rest of the weekend, you are Jacquelina, my 7-year-old cousin from Newport who was up visiting for the weekend and volunteered to help out when you heard about the situation with Jane's wedding. Volunteered my foot. I thought resentfully, I was drafted into this. And then, Pam, I'm not 7. I know, but look in the mirror, you look 7 now. I was surprised when I first saw how young you looked. Besides, it's funnier for me. You won't be little Mr. Independent this weekend. Oh no, little 7-year-old girls are never alone, and they need people to do everything for them. This is going to be great. We're only about 20 minutes away. We'll be staying at Jane's house for the weekend. The wedding is on Sunday. The car sped on, and I sat there trying to think of a way out of this, but there was none. I should be home playing football with the guys. But instead, I had to play a girl for the weekend and be a flower girl at a wedding. I put my head in my hands, praying this was a dream and I would wake up soon. I prayed as hard as I ever did. Please be a dream. Please be a dream. Please be a dream. Then I heard Pam. We're here, she sang out. I raised my head and it wasn't a dream. This was real. We pulled up to the house and it was already getting dark. There were a lot of people around, and I could see where the wedding was to take place in the back. This was the worst. I should be home playing video games this weekend or hanging out with my friends. But instead, I had to pretend to be a 7-year-old girl. Pam had some instructions for me. Remember, you're a 7-year-old girl, so talk with a high pitch in your voice. Just try to imitate the other girls around you. Before she stepped out of the car, she stopped and looked back at me. It's best you use the bathroom sitting down this weekend. We don't want people to walk in on you and figure out you're really a boy. Besides, it will be easier since you'll be wearing dresses. She giggled at me again. God, the humiliation. Pam came around. I was still sitting in the car, too nervous to move. She opened the car door and unbuckled my seatbelt. Come on, let's go. And she pulled me out of the car. I immediately started to shiver from the cool autumn air around my legs. Pam draped a white sweater over my shoulders. Here, this will help keep you warm. She also put a pink Little Mermaid backpack over my shoulders and handed me a pink suitcase with rollers on it. Oh, I almost forgot. She reached into the car and produced a small white purse and handed it to me. Young ladies always carry purses. Pam, it's so great to see you. I looked up the driveway and saw a slightly overweight middle-aged woman bounding toward us. I was afraid she was going to run us over. She stopped and hugged Pam. I am so glad you made it. She looked down at me, and I was a little more than afraid. And who is this little angel? I just stared up at her frozen. Then Pam jumped in. Why, Peggy, this is Jacquelina, my cousin from Newport. Oh, is this the little darling that's going to help us with our missing flower girl problem? Why, yes she is. Pam smiled bigger than I had ever seen her smile. I couldn't believe it. This woman actually thought I was a 7-year-old girl. She reached down and hugged me and squeezed so hard I couldn't breathe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When she released me, I was visibly gasping for air, which is why I probably didn't see her hand coming toward my face. Oh, you're just the cutest little thing. And she pinched my cheeks. Her fingers were like vice grips. She released the death grip, and she and Pam started walking up to the house. I meekly followed with my suitcase in tow. The house was huge, and I could tell Jane's family had money. There were a lot of people in there. I was just thankful to be out of the cold. Pam greeted a few other people, including Beth, who looked at me and started giggling and had to leave the room. Pam followed. I was left there to endure a few more hugs and pinched cheeks. And an uncle who thought it was funny to tickle me. After that, I noticed a few boys who were about 10 years old talking about football. I thought, hey, I can at least hang with the guys this weekend even if I have to pretend to be a girl. I put my backpack and suitcase down and walked over. They were talking about John Elway. When I got a chance, I said, yeah, John Elway is awesome. They all three turned and gave me the strangest look I had ever seen. Then it hit me. Standing before them wasn't one of the guys or a kindred spirit. Standing before them was a little girl in a dress holding a ridiculous purse. Then they started in on me. Yeah, she probably likes his butt, haha. Yeah, what do you know about football? Then the biggest one, their leader, Steve, said, guys, watch this. He walked around behind me and started pulling my pigtails. Ouch! 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 Ha ha ha. They all laughed. Then he pushed me. I regained my balance and got mad. I was going to clean his clock. Then I heard Jacquelina. Pam grabbed my arm and pulled me toward her. Young lady, little girls do not roughhouse with boys, do you understand? But I pointed toward them. No buts. Pick up your purse and let's go. I couldn't believe they were getting away with it. Dejected, I bent over to get my purse. Not having worn a dress before, I didn't know how to bend over like a girl, so I bent over at the waist like I always do. The dress, being short, rose up my backside, exposing my bottom. And I heard the boys in unison say, I see London, I see France, I see Jacquelina's underwear. Ha 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 ha. I quickly realized what was happening and shot up, covering my backside. I looked up at Pam. She just rolled her eyes and took my hand, dragging me away. I looked back at the boys. They were still laughing. And they said, bye, Jacquelina. Yeah, go play with your dolls. Then it hit me. Pam, you put girl underwear on me. Of course I did. Boxers would look pretty silly, wouldn't they? We gathered up our things and headed upstairs. I was still angry at the boys, especially Steve. God, am I that mean to girls? Pam brought me back to reality when she said, you know, this will go a lot easier if you make an effort to act like a girl. I looked up at her. I am not a girl. She stopped and bent down. Keep it down. Or would you like me to go tell those boys the truth? I crossed my arms and sulked. No. That's right. Imagine what they'd do if they found out. So, for the next 72 hours, you'll play the part of a 7-year-old girl. Now let's find our rooms. I stomped up the rest of the stairs, and Pam grabbed my arm and gave me 3 whacks on my backside. Smack. 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 Stop it right now. We walked down the hall to a white door, and she knocked and opened it. Hi, girls, she said as we walked into a wall of laughter. Before us were 2 girls about 10 or 11 years old. One was wearing pink pajama bottoms with a white t-shirt. The other was wearing a long powder blue nightgown. Both had long blonde hair. I looked around the room, and it was obviously a girl's room. Pink rug, pink walls, white trim, lacy bed linens, stuffed animals everywhere, and it had its own bathroom. I looked to the left at the full-length mirror and saw a little girl staring back at me. Then I realized the little girl was me. This was the first time I saw a full-body shot of myself dressed up. My hands went to my face, my hair, and down my dress. Pam was right, I did look younger. I couldn't believe it. I was so entranced with my girly image, I didn't hear Pam. Jacquelina. Jacquelina. Stop admiring yourself in that mirror and say hi to Missy and Casey. You 3 are going to be roomies this weekend. What? But I thought I would be staying with you. She could read the urgency in my eyes. Oh honey, I know, but I'm going to be too busy helping with the wedding to watch you. So Missy and Casey were kind enough to babysit you. Isn't that nice of them? Then Missy spoke up. Yes, Jacquelina, what a pretty name. Casey chimed in. We're going to have so much fun, just us girls. Oh, what a pretty dress. Here, you can put your things up here. She put my bag by the dresser. Pam bent down and hugged me and whispered, okay, you're on your own. Good luck. Pam, no, they'll find out. Only if you give yourself away, so you better play the part. She stood up. Sweetie, now you behave and mind what Missy and Casey say. And she was gone.